Hey Jewel School, welcome in. I'm Laura. Thanks for being here with me. Today we are making a very fun and festive pair of clover and chrome diopside earrings. So this earring is really fun. It is a cha-cha style earring. We had these chrome diopside pebbles, and then we've got these really cool clover connectors. They're black. I need head pins and jump rings and an ear wire. And that's all we need as far as components. Tool-wise, I've got 2 chain nose pliers and a 1-step bale shaping plier. So I think this is the least amount of tools I've ever used in the demo. I can't believe I don't even have a flush cutter, but we don't need a flush cutter today. No need for it at all. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to bang out some cha-chas. We're going to make a bunch of chrome diopside dangles, and then we're going to hang them on our jump ring. I cheated a little bit and I went ahead and I made some in advance, but we're going to do a little streamline tutorial. You guys have seen me do this before if you've been watching me for a while, but it's just kind of my process. How I get these, how I get a good stash going. So it kind of makes the assembly process a lot easier for me. So I'll grab some head pins, and then we're just gonna load each one up with a chrome diopside. And then we will use our 1-step bale shaping plier. So my point in how I streamline this is always my goal, is to eliminate how many times I'm picking up and putting down a plier, or how many times I'm switching gears and moving from one task to another. So I like to get as much of one thing done as I can and then move on. It helps me mentally just kind of stay focused on what I'm doing. And it also helps kind of, I think, physically, in the sense that, like, I get into a rhythm, and then I'm faster at doing whatever it is I'm doing. Some of these chromes don't want to fit on these head pins, but it just depends what kind of head pins you have. These are a little heavier head pin, but also usually if I'm like picking up and putting down my plier, I inevitably every single time will set my plier somewhere and then I can't find it. And so then I'm doing this thing all the time where I'm trying to find my plier, and it's usually like right in front of me. But you guys know, anybody that makes jewelry and does any kind of crafting, it's the bane of our existence is losing our tools, and they're literally right in front of me. But if it's in my hand, I can't lose it. So I really try to eliminate the amount of times I'm picking it up and putting it down. And it seems like trivial, but it makes such a huge difference in how quickly you can get your work done, and it eliminates so much headache in the whole process, especially when you're doing something like a really full, really big cha-cha style piece. You know, it can get real tedious if you're doing like the process from beginning to finish like 30 times instead of completing each step. You guys know what I'm saying. I don't know, having trouble verbalizing it at this time, but see how easy it was for me to loop all those pieces real quick, and I never once set my plier down. So I'm going to set those aside. So I've got a nice big pile of chrome diopside that's been looped, and they're ready to go. First thing that we are going to do is start loading up our jump rings. So I'm going to open up all my jump rings. I used 3 for this project, and you can use whatever size you want. I wanted to kind of elongate the earring a little bit, so I used a little bit bigger jump rings, and these were these chrome diopsides are pretty good size. So I didn't want it to get bunched up too much, so that's why I used a bigger jump ring. So my first jump ring down on the bottom of my cluster, I have 2 pieces of chrome. So just grab 2 of these out of your pile, and we're gonna slide them on there. And see how I have not set my pliers down. And then we are going to grab our next jump ring And then on this next jump ring, I did 4 pieces of chrome. So I'm gonna grab 2 pieces of chrome, slide them on. Then I'm gonna slide my jump ring on. And then I'm gonna slide 2 more pieces of chrome on here. Like that. So I'm just kind of building up the fullness as we go up the earring, and then we'll close that jump ring off. And then I can set that down. Now we'll grab our next jump ring, and then I did 4 pieces of chrome. No, 8 pieces of chrome on this one. So I did 4 on either side of my dangle. So I'm gonna put 4 pieces on here, 3, and it's gonna get real full up here at the top, which is what I wanted. And then I'm gonna grab my cluster section. I'm gonna drop that jump ring on there. That's just making sure that my jump ring is splitting my chrome pieces in half. I don't want it to be like heavier on one side than it is on the other. So I like to make sure my jump ring is in the middle of my pieces. So then we're gonna drop 4 more on here. 2, 3, 4. And obviously you can scale this up or down. You can build it up and make it fuller, or you can do less if you want it, if you don't like how full it is. Before we close our jump ring, we are going to drop one of our connectors onto the jump ring also. And then we're gonna go in with our 2 chain nose pliers and close that off. Look at that. You got a big, full cluster of chrome right there. 9 minutes from start to finish. So that's pretty quick. I've got a huggy for my ear wire here. So the next thing that, the last thing that I'm gonna have to do on this is just open up the little loop. So these little huggies, they're so cool. I love huggies. They just pop open like that. And then there is a little loop down here at the bottom, and it can be hard to tell, but it opens and closes, which is very nice. And there is a front and a back to a huggy. So the front side is the side, obviously, that has the post. So we want to make sure that when we are putting our earring onto our huggy, that the black face of this clover is facing forward, so that you know, it's facing the right direction. And then we will close that off. Just close that back shut with your chain nose pliers, and then you are done with your earrings. And we will slide those on there. So, you know, I did the cha-cha with jump rings just because I didn't have a piece of chain that was big enough to where I felt like I could get this full of a cha-cha as I wanted. But if you've got a bigger piece of chain laying around or something to do your cha-cha, you don't have to use jump rings. I felt like it made the whole process easier for me because I could. So that's another thing. Instead of opening and closing every single loop on my little dangles, so if I was using a piece of chain, I would have to open all of these little dangles. So I'd have to go in, which sometimes you got to do. I'd have to go in with my chain nose pliers and open every one of these, attach them and close them back up. And that's a huge step that we just eliminated by using jump rings. So when I've got the jump rings, all I have to do is open and close the jump rings, and I can slide these on like beads, and I don't have to worry about opening and closing all these little teeny tiny loops that we made with our one-step looper. So if you've never made a cha-cha with jump rings, it'll change your life and you'll never want to go back to using chain. Sometimes you got to use chain, there's no way around it, and that may be an integral part of your project. But if you can use jump rings, I would use jump rings. It's so much easier. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's demo. If you need any of the tools and supplies that we used today, check out the links in the description below. And while you're down there, I want to know how you celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos. Bye, y'all.